We are, Bill and I, in our 42nd year here at Evanston Vineyard. And in my opinion, these are the best years, actually. There were some good things about the beginning years, but these are the best years because you all are here, and that's great. But it is time to start thinking about transition because I'm not getting any younger. And, as I think about it, you don't want to be the guy who should have quit 2 years ago and is still trying to hang on. And at a certain point, like the church kind of needs a younger face, a younger brain, somebody with a little more energy. So, it's something that has to be done. And the truth is, we started thinking about this about 5 years ago. And we've read all kinds of books. There's a lot of work that's been done in recent years on how churches can make a transition successfully. So we've gone to conferences and whatnot just to kind of come up with a plan. And we just want to quickly the leaders have all heard this or the members, if you were at the members meeting. But if you weren't, we want to just quickly give you like a heads up that we are working on a transition plan. And so the first screen is going to just tell you, here's what we're thinking. How do we anticipate this happening? The first step is going to begin a year from now. So next August, Bill, who's a little bit older than I am, is going to retire. So Bill Hannawalt, who's been sort of my number one associate for the last 42 years, is going to retire. And when he does, we're going to bring in a new associate pastor who is intended to be my successor. So that will go for a year then. And during that year, I'll be the senior pastor. That person will be my senior associate pastor. So we get a year to try them on for size. And then the year 2, if it goes well, then I and the new person will be co-senior pastors, which means I'll give him all the dirty jobs and just do the bits I like. Yeah, glory, hallelujah, yeah? After 42 years, huh? Okay, then year 3, if that goes well. And let me let's go back a slide if you can. In year 2, that's the point at which we actually make the decision as a congregation. Okay, this is going to be our new senior pastor. We'll make sort of the final decision at that point. Then we'll go into year 3, the last year. The new person will be the senior pastor, and I'll be like the backstop. Just, I don't know, petering out in the last year. We'll have to negotiate exactly what that looks like and who does what. But part of the idea, of course, is that by the time I'm gone, you're used to the new person, and it doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel as dislocating or strange, okay? And now you might want to know, well, all right, who are we looking for? Because we are already looking. And just a quick rundown of what we're looking for. We're looking for somebody who's in the Vineyard movement and is thoroughly committed to the Vineyard movement. Those of you who are newer here might not understand that a really important part of who we are and who we have become was becoming a part of the Vineyard movement, which God called us to in a supernatural way. So that's kind of non-negotiable. So it's got to be somebody within our family of churches, because we're part of a family of churches called the Vineyard. It's got to be somebody there. Number 2, we're looking for somebody who has at least 8 years of experience in top-level leadership. This is not a church for a newbie. You don't want to have to deal with somebody who's going to take 10 years to figure out, like I did, how to actually lead a church. We kind of spent the first 10 years practicing, and of course it was a little church then, and little churches don't have much choice. But now we are a bigger church, we want somebody who's going to be able to hit the ground running, who understands how this works. All right, number 3, we're looking for somebody who has the ability to think and lead strategically, theologically, and practically, which are important combinations for the church to move forward into the future. We're not just looking for somebody who's going to maintain the status quo. We're looking for somebody who will move us forward into the next generation, because our goal is to have a church that lasts for more than one generation. I'm hoping for at least 3 or 4. So it's partly up to you, especially those of you who are younger, to fulfill my dream. I won't be around to see it all, but that's what we're hoping for. And we're looking for somebody who's able to put at least 20 years into building this church into that next generation, all right? Because we don't want to have another transition 5 years from now, because it's really difficult and it's hard to reset. So we want somebody who's got a good long run, because the truth is, great churches are built by long pastorates. And you just got to be there a long time to actually make a difference. So that's number 4. And number 5, we're looking for a person who's a person of color or has experience with cultural or racial diversity, because that's who we are. When we started 42 years ago, we were all just white people, okay? And so that's what we were. But God has intervened, surprised us, and changed us so that now we are people from all different kind of backgrounds and all different races, from 55 different nations of the world. So the new person has to be able to come in and be a pastor for everybody that's coming in here. So we're looking for somebody who's got the ability. And the sad truth is that makes our pool very small of people who have that experience, because this is just not the norm in church life in America. But it's non-negotiable. It's got to be that. And then lastly, number 6 has a commitment. No, this isn't last. But number 6 has a commitment to the historical values of Vineyard. They need to kind of be in touch with who we are. We're not going to change the essentials of who we are. So all the reasons why you're here and why you love this church, we're planning to keep those reasons. All right, number 7. Yeah. Lastly, has clear signs that God is supernaturally calling them to lead this church. That's what we're looking for. Not just somebody who meets our little list, but actually somebody that God picked is what we're looking for. We want to have a sense that that's the way it is. So that's what we're looking for. We expect to choose that person in the next couple months. Okay? And we'll invite them to come in to be an associate pastor, and then we'll all get to be with them starting next year for a year, and then we'll make a decision as a congregation, yeah, this is the right person. Okay, that's how it's going to go. And that kind of gives you a basic idea. If you have questions, you can ask me or ask some of the church council members who will be a part of making that decision.